And we're back. Oh my gosh.
Welcome back.
Technology. Always a
Technology.
fight. It's always a fight.
Always.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't have to
I
be
don't
this
I
hard.
don't know. It hates us.
It just goes to show I really should stay away from IT.
But that's where the money is.
That's where the money
So you should
is.
learn how to program. Yep.
I think I
So
would
hard.
torture myself and
Oh my
everyone
gosh.
around me.
It'd be so bad.
I don't get it.
Me neither.
How many zeros? How many zeros and ones?
Yeah. Have you ever tried to
Yeah,
program a
well,
website?
I haven't tried. Well, kind of. I mean, Blogspot back in the day,
Yeah,
and I was
back in
like,
the day. Yeah, exactly. It
I was
was
like,
so hard.
I can't do this. I'm supposed to put what code where?
I know. Coding is
And oh,
just weird. My brain does not work that way.
no,
No,
no.
no.
Anyways, we were talking about
Anyway,
January
January.
and how
And
Mary
then
hates
the
January,
pros.
even though it's her birthday month.
Yeah,
It's your birthday soon. It's your
yeah, it is.
birthday. It's your birthday.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to it because I am not in a tropical place right now. There is snow on the ground.
Next year, 2025,
Okay.
we're going to do something.
Yeah. Okay.
Skinny dip in the ocean.
Maybe not skinny dipping, but I did go to Torrid last night, and
Oh,
they
that's a
had some
fun
real
time.
it is, and they had some really cute swimsuits. I'm like, "Oh, I would totally wear that." It was, pink and with it was really cute and not my usual black. All I wear is black swimsuits, but
Yeah.
it was, bright pink, and it was so cute. I'm all, "I kinda wanna wear that, but my legs are so ugly, I can't pull it off." So, anyway.
You can pull it off.
No, that's neither here nor there, but, um, so January.
Yes,
So
January.
I've been reading Harry Potter, and I'm currently in book 7, so I'm almost done.
Yes, it's Harry January.
It is Harry January, and so I've been reading the books and then watching the movies, when I finish the book, and so it's been interesting to, just see how different the book is from the movie.
Mhm.
And I've always known that the books are better, you know. The movies have their place and they're good.
Yeah,
But what you miss the in the movies is all the hard stuff. They just put it into a montage, you know?
right.
Like, for example, in book 4, which is the Goblet of Fire, and Harry has to do all these different hard tasks because he's been entered into this Triwizard Tournament. And one thing that he has to do is summon his broom. He has to figure out how to summon his broom to help him fight a dragon.
Mhm.
And in the movie, it's just like, oh, well, he just, points his wand and says, Accio Firebolt, and his broom comes flying out from the castle and he can grab it and then he can, fly off.
Yeah.
And it just looks easy. But in the book, you you realize that he has to figure out how he's going to fight a dragon. He doesn't know how. He has to kind of be told, okay, look for your strengths. What can you do? Well, I'm a fair fly. Well, yeah, you can fly. Now you have to figure out how to get your broom. And
Mhm.
oh, well, this is a hard spell. You can say something and have it happen. I mean, you have to work on it. These are kids. They're in school. They're trying to figure out how to make magic work for them and stuff. And you know, summoning something is not easy. And summoning something from that far away is really not easy. And so in the book, you have to hear you read about how they had to work on these things. How he and Hermione, his friend, they went into a classroom to work on it and to try how to figure out how to do it so that he could get into the arena with the dragon and summon his broom and have it come so that he could survive this task. And you miss all that because in the movie it's just, oh, I'm going to go in and wave my wand and there it is. You miss all the hard stuff.
Right.
And and I feel like January is just kind of one of those montage moments where it's all the hard stuff. It's the grind. It's the getting through every day and just continuing to get up and make lunches and go to work and clean the house and do the light. It's boring. It's the hard stuff. You want to skip to the good parts. And that's what they have to do in movies is skip to the good parts and they just, make a little montage of all the hard stuff.
Right.
But this we're in this hard moment and we're working on it. We're grinding. We're getting through every day. And it's just hard. And
It
you want to
is,
skip to the
yeah.
good part, but
It's
you can't
true.
really.
Well, and
So, yeah,
yeah.
continue.
And it goes right into like the theme of what I wanted to talk about, which is
Mhm.
alignment. And I read this quote and I kind of not sure how I feel about the quote. I think there's truth to it, but it's one of those quotes that's like, hmm. Um, let's see if I can find
It's
it.
like, hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
Let me think about that and come back
Hmm.
to you.
Okay.
It says a lot of conflict you have in your life exists because simply because you're not living in alignment. You're not being true to yourself. Steve Maraboli. So
Hmm.
the reason why it makes me say, is because I agree. I do agree with that. I feel like when you're not aligned, everything feels hard. I know for myself as my personality, like I went and took an Enneagram test and now I
Mhm.
totally understand myself way better. But like,
Wow.
no, but when you do start figuring out yourself and what fires you up, when
Mhm.
that is an alignment. Because for me, I won't go and grind until I feel completely aligned and feel like that resonates to my core. And then I can just run so fast. And I think that's why motherhood felt easy for me was because it just aligned with a lot of my core elements.
Mhm.
And it doesn't always align with everybody. Sometimes it takes a lot of like adjusting. And so it just depends, but I also feel like part of the alignment process is the storm, is the crisis, is all of the hard that happens in your life. And that's
Mhm.
just aligning you. Either you're going to fight that storm and that crisis and you're going to try to fight to keep it the same, or you're going to let that refine you so that you get to the next version of you.
Hmm.
But here's the thing. I feel like sometimes when we live when life is very mundane and just like very straight and doesn't have
Predictable and yeah.
predictable and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, where's the growth?
Yeah.
Maybe you're aligned to a point, but are you aligned or are you just like refusing to push yourself further and harder? You know what I mean? Like we can live a
Yeah.
very like mundane life and a very like, and I'm not saying that it's not okay to have a stable life. Like that's
Right.
not like
Yeah.
stability is key and that's what we all should strive for. But the
Yeah.
point is like if you're going to the gym and you're always using 10-pound weights, 10-pound dumbbells, and you're
Mhm.
just feeling like you're just moving your arms up and down and you're not feeling a burn, you're not going to see an improvement in your arms. You're not going to see muscle grow. You're not going to feel anything. In a sense, you're just kind of maintaining whatever you have. But
Mhm.
it's what do you want? Do you want to just maintain or do you want to grow? Do you want something more? Do you want something bigger? And I guess that's the question. And that's where alignment comes in because if you're aligned to saying, I'm just happy just staying like this, I don't really want to grow. I don't really want to get more in knowledge or I don't want to get, be better
Mhm.
financially or whatever. If you're just
Mhm.
happy staying like staying where you are, then keep lifting those 10-pound weights. That's what
Mhm.
will keep you right there.
Yeah.
But sometimes something happens to make you put the weights down and push harder.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
No, I feel like people have different um tolerance for risk and for change.
Hmm. Oh,
Some
yeah.
people really, really like their routines
Hmm.
and the grind is just fine with them. That is what they do. I get up, I go to work, I do this, and we come home and we have and that's fine. If that
Right.
is what you want and that is where you feel comfortable in your life, that is fine. Uh, some people don't feel comfortable with that. Sometimes people want more. I was
Yeah.
talking with a friend at work the other day, and she's very good at what she does and very nice, lovely, lovely human being. And we were talking about, our assignments. She's like, "Well, I'm with this doctor on Monday and this doctor on Tuesday, and sometimes I switch back and forth, but then Wednesday I'm with this doctor and Thursday I do this." And she just laid out her week of how and who she works with every single week.
Hmm.
And there are benefits to that. You know your doctors very well, you get along, you know how what they want, everything goes smoothly, everyone is happy in the OR. There's something to be said for that.
Right.
But it also makes you very it keeps your world very small.
Hmm.
This is what she does. This is what she can do.
Right.
And what happens if that doctor's out of town and she still needs to work, but she's not able to do something else because she's never gotten out of her box far enough to train on that. Or maybe she didn't want to train on it because she was happy just staying where she was. And that's her tolerance for risk and change. She just doesn't like it. She
Yeah.
likes where she's at. She's happy with that.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's
And
her.
that's aligned for her.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's, I think what I'm trying to say is like, what is it that aligns for you? And if
Mhm.
you're always in a storm, if you're always in crisis, you're obviously not in alignment. And you're obviously not taking the steps to get out of that crisis and that storm. Because the truth is, nobody can pull you out of a storm. You have to essentially come out of your own storm, whether you
Mhm.
have to sit it out or you have to take the steps to like swim through it. Whatever it is, you have to push through. And um
Your
what we
dog
were
really
talking,
wants to get in.
sorry, yes, my dog's clawing at the door. But when we were talking earlier and I said crisis is only crisis because you've never been through it before.
Mhm.
If it wouldn't be a crisis, if I mean, essentially it can be a crisis again because it's a different person or whatever, and it can, but it doesn't feel as crisis when you have experience because you know how to navigate it.
Mhm.
Crisis usually feels like something that just happened and you don't know the answers, you don't know, there's so many unknowns that it's so
Mhm.
scary and overwhelming.
Yeah.
And another quote I found by Karen Whitten, Whitten I think is how you pronounce it, is to find out who you are, you must also see who you're not.
Mm. Yeah.
And I think sometimes in our storms, that's where we find out who we're not. And sometimes we want to hold on to who we're not because that's who we thought we were.
And that's who
And
society told us we should
And
be.
who's this? Yeah, or our parents told us who we should be, or
Mhm.
our spouse, or whoever it is, whoever we're listening to, telling us who we are. Like sometimes we're holding on to that, and that's what's creating the storm because we don't want to look our,
Disappoint.
we don't want to disappoint. We don't want to look in the mirror. We don't want to take
Mhm.
accountability a lot of the times
Mhm.
because sometimes, like, those storms are essentially just putting a mirror in front of you. Crisis, storms, whatever it is, they're usually like the most self-reflective moments of your life. And if you're refusing to look in the mirror and see your contribution or your ability to get out, don't mind my dog barking in the background, but if you're refusing to like acknowledge your part in the crisis or your ability to get out of crisis, you're going to stay in this perpetual storm.
Yeah.
Or it's just going to bring more and more storms because you're I feel like when something happens, it's happening for you, not against you.
Mhm.
Sorry, my dog is really not happy right
Yeah.
now.
Do you wanna pause? We'll
Yeah.
pause for a doggy break. Hold on. And we're back from our doggy breaks. I I let my dog
Oh
out.
my
He'll
goodness.
probably be barking at me soon, but, whatever. Anyway, so we're back. So things happening for you.
Yes. So what I was saying is that life happens for you. And this was something that was so cute. It was driven back as another reminder by my 16-year-old because
Hmm.
he was going through some really hard stuff last week with his dad,
Hmm.
and he looked at me and he said, "Mom, I know that God must have a God and myself, like we have a big plan for myself in life and who I'm supposed to become. And all these things that are hard right now are just helping me become a better man in the future." And I looked at him and I was like, that's it. Like, that's exactly what it is. And that is why, like, I had all the reasons to feel sorry for myself, to have a bad attitude about life, to be the most miserable person you could be around. I had a lot of justified reasons,
Hmm.
but I didn't look at all the things that happened to me and said, oh, poor me. Like, I'm always the one that's getting picked on. Instead,
Hmm.
I looked and saw how it kind of was refining me. And I've chosen, and that's been my preference with the way I see things. And it's also made it so when I'm navigating big major life decisions,
Hmm.
they're not easy decisions. Divorce is never an easy decision to make.
No, you fought with that decision for a long time.
A really long time.
Hmm.
And but I also had to make a decision.
Hmm.
And you make those decisions and you hope that, like, we all can freeze in times of where major decisions, and we freeze and we don't know what to do, and so then we kind of become paralyzed with these decisions.
Yeah.
Then you stay in the same place. And you have to sometimes, like, I remember making the decision and thinking, okay, if this is a big mistake, I'm going to deal with those consequences the best I can. But if
Hmm.
this is, I believe that this is the best decision I can make with the situation that I'm in, and this will be
Hmm.
have more uh, optimistic long term improvement. And
Hmm.
if there's always going to be hiccups and bumps in the road, but to me, this decision to get a divorce promises better outcomes than to stay, even though staying at the time felt way easier in so many ways. And
Yeah.
so when you look at life and you look at the hard things that happen and the ugly and the crisis and whatever it is,
Hmm.
you have to retrain your brain to see that it's working for your benefit, not for your destruction.
Hmm.
And when you think of it that way, all of a sudden you navigate these storms. How am I learning? What lesson am I supposed to learn through this? What am I supposed to improve? And that's where that's where the storm refines and helps you align with who you are. And when you're aligned, all of a sudden it doesn't feel like a storm. It just feels like, yeah, this is uncomfortable and hard, but I'm aligned and I know how to navigate through this. Like, this confidence comes through the storm, and the storm doesn't go away. So I look at this, like, last year, there was a lot of times last year where I felt a lot more peace than I should have in a lot of situations.
Hmm.
And I remember that was always like kind of a question I got from people, was like, you have stayed like relatively peaceful and you're not falling apart. And I mean, I had moments that I definitely fell apart, but I didn't fall apart last year like I did in 2022.
Hmm.
2022, I was a mess. And I think a lot of that was because I was finally becoming aligned. So even in the storms that were last year, I had this alignment that helped me see and power through and make decisions that were the hardest decisions I had to make in a long time.
Hmm.
And so the question is, how do you know when you're aligned?
That's a very good question.
It is a good question. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know when you're aligned? And to me, I feel like alignment is when you feel so like you can see a path, or you don't, not even see a path, but you have faith in yourself in taking steps forward. And it also is like when it comes to beliefs, you have an alignment when all of a sudden you feel like you're not living in shame constantly. And
Mm.
that can be like some people find that in religion, embracing religion that removes the shame and the guilt out of their life. Some people, religion does that for them, puts it in them, and then they don't feel aligned anymore. And if you're not feeling aligned, either you need to make the decision, like make choices that help you get in alignment with the religion you want to be part of, or you need to reevaluate what aligns with you in your thinking and in your own spiritual ways.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there's a lot of emotional, we get so caught up in our life and our day-to-days that we lose that connection with ourselves and honoring the emotions we're feeling.
Mhm.
And like being afraid of feeling sad or being afraid of feeling angry or being afraid of feeling shame. What's shame telling us? What are we feeling ashamed? Is it a choice we made? Is it like something that an unresolved thing that we haven't fixed?
Mhm.
Or is it embarrassment? Like, what is the shame that we're feeling and why are we feeling that? Is it something real or is it something from our childhood that's living and presenting itself now? And I think sometimes we just brush them off and move and we want to just keep going faster and faster in life and we don't really sit through those emotions and let those emotions teach us what we're feeling to help us
Mhm.
become aligned.
Mm.
Cuz yeah, we're going to feel picked on. We're going to feel like the victim in life sometimes.
Yeah, we are.
And that's
And sometimes we
okay.
are. And some people have really, really crappy hands dealt to them.
Yeah.
But what do
And
you
that's
do with that
okay.
hand that you're dealt? I mean, do you just keep looking at the cards that you're dealt and say, "Oh my gosh, look how crappy this hand is. It's terrible."
Right.
Or are you gonna actually play it and
Yeah.
maybe get another card and then keep playing until you get to a point where I mean, you were dealt a crappy hand, but how many of us have played games where you're dealt a crappy hand and you still win the round? You still win the game,
Yep. Yep.
you
Well,
know?
and
It's what you do with
it's
it.
it is. And the thing that I can't stress enough is yeah, you're going to be a victim in life sometimes.
Mhm.
You're the only person that can validate yourself through that.
Yeah.
Getting a whole audience to say, "Oh, you poor thing." Yeah, sometimes it's nice to be like, "Yeah, people see me. People see my pain." But it's
Mhm.
not going to fix that pain. The
No.
only person that's going to fix that pain and that victim mentality is yourself. You're the only person that holds the key to the true validation that you need in your suffering, in your pain. Yeah, we want to be validated by our parents. You know, maybe in our childhood we got hurt by our parents. Yeah, we want them to come and say sorry. But even when they do that, it's not going to remove those childhood wounds. You're the only one that can address those childhood wounds because you have to let go. You have to at some point let go, be it whether the parent apologizes or whether you just want to move on. Or,
Mhm.
you know, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a child, whoever is the one that inflicted a wound on you. We all want to say, I can't move on until they make it right with me. Yes, you can. You can because you hold the true power to your own healing and your own validation. And so refusing to take that key and move forward in the proper ways that you need to move forward with to heal and
Mhm.
validate yourself, that's making a choice.
It is.
Not making a choice is making a choice.
It is.
And you're never going to get the validation you need to heal in the hands of someone else.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's my preachiness.
No.
Sometimes I get a
I
little fired up, and that,
Preach, sister. Praise. Praise. I love it.
it's just like I feel like I've seen a lot in life, more than
Mhm.
a lot of people, and that's not to like say anything other than I have a lot of experience in ways that a lot of people haven't.
Yeah.
Or maybe they have. I don't know. I can't say because I can only speak for myself, but because of my experiences, I feel like it's given me a lot of hindsight and true understanding of how to heal and how to help other people heal. And it's by empowering themselves with the ability to see that they're the ones. They are the ones that hold the true keys to validating themselves, to
Mhm.
healing, to moving forward, to showing up your best today so you have an amazing future, an amazing
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Thank you, Mama Jimena.
Yes. God
Yeah.
bless you, man.
God bless you, Jimena. Oh, it's true. We will never be healed from the actions of or inactions of another person. I mean, in surgery, yeah, you may need a doctor to help you fix whatever's wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are not gonna take yourself to the hospital when you have abdominal pain, say, okay, take my appendix out, please. If you don't present yourself to the hospital, it's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
You know, or if it's something that if it's something that you can get help with and you choose to not get help, then yeah. But you have to choose it. You have to take yourself there and honestly, you have to surrender. You have to give up the control of, well, it's my body. I want to keep my appendix, or I don't want to, be naked on an operating table. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Some things require a sacrifice. You're going to have to be naked on an operating table to get your appendix out. I mean,
Yeah.
you are.
Yep.
That's just how it is. But you won't be able to heal from that unless you submit to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then once, the outside person does their part, you have to do the healing. You have to take care of yourself. You have to eat well. You have to get rest. You have to drink your fluids. You have to get yourself better. It can't be all on the doctor. It can't
Mm-hmm.
be all on your, ex-spouse or your parents or your siblings or anyone else who may affect your life. You have to decide that you want to get your life in alignment and to improve it and to move forward. And it's got to come from you.
Yep. I mean, look at when you get like your knee replaced or you get
Mhm.
injured, ACL, you go to physical therapy.
Mhm.
You physical therapist can only do so much.
Mhm.
You have to make a choice to take those exercises and actually do the exercises at home to get your body to walking again or whatever it is. It has to come from within.
Yeah.
Nobody can put your leg on the ground and say, "Okay, push and push your knee and try to get your muscles to activate the way they need
Yeah.
to."
That's the only thing that's going to make you stronger is you putting forth that effort.
Yeah. And yeah, it's nice to get validation from other people. Like
Mhm.
that's always nice to have a support system,
Mhm.
but that's not going to carry you through. Having people say, "Good job, you took a step forward with with your ACL that just got fixed," That's
Mhm.
yeah, it's nice, but is it going to make it so you keep walking? Oh.
Um, is it nice to get awards for the movie that you've made? Sure.
Oh
But
yeah.
But the movie never would have gotten made if you hadn't decided to, adapt the screenplay or, take on the directing and take on all of those hard things that you were in control of,
Mhm.
and you can do your best and put it out there for the world. And yeah, maybe you'll get rewarded for it. Maybe you'll get recognized for it. Maybe you won't.
Yeah.
But if you're doing what you feel called to do, whether it's making a movie, whether it's writing a book, whether it's raising a family, whether it is
What is the
waking
purpose?
up and moving your just moving forward, just waking up and
Mhm.
getting on with your day. Th- Yeah, you have to find your purpose and you have to believe that you are worth fighting for, that you are the only person.
Who can fight
Yeah,
for you?
yeah, you have to fight for yourself because no one's going
Yeah.
to come save you.
Mm-mm. And that's what alignment's all about. Alignment is finding who you are, what you need, and showing up for those needs for yourself.
Mhm.
and start clearing away all the fluff and all the crazy and the whatever until you get so aligned that you can stand in a storm when everything is falling apart and still find peace.
Yeah.
Oh,
And still be strong enough to make it through that storm.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what I got.
Well, wow. That was kind of a heavy one, but I feel like it needed
Yeah.
to be we needed to get that out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us today, and, yeah, we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.